In Lesson 6, we're going to learn the rules for addition. We're going to reiterate them. And we're going to learn how to add more than two numbers. There are two rules. To add algebraically two signed numbers that have the same sign. So if they're both negative, both numbers are positive, either case, we add the absolute values of the numbers and we give the result of this addition, the sum of those two numbers, the same sign as the sign of the numbers. To add algebraically two signed numbers that have different opposite signs, we take the difference. We subtract, in other words, the absolute value of the numbers and give the result the sign of the original number whose absolute value is the greatest. Okay, and we're going to do some examples here with this. Okay, so I have a positive 7 and a negative 3. The absolute value of positive 7 equals 7. The absolute value of negative 3 equals 3. I'm going to subtract those two. I get an answer of 4. My original larger number was a positive, therefore 4 is the answer to number 1. Same exact things. They have the same sign. We're going to add the absolute values. We know the absolute value of negative 7 is positive 7. The absolute value of negative 3 is positive 3. 7 plus 3 is 10. Since both numbers were negative, we give our answer that sign. Here again, we have an original number of negative 7. The absolute value of negative 7 is positive 7. Okay, and the absolute value of positive 3 is 3. Since the numbers have different signs, we're going to subtract and give our answer the sign of the original number, which had the greater absolute value. That would be the 7. So our answer is negative 4. Okay, now we have two numbers with the same sides. We simply add their absolute values. 4 plus 1, that equals 5. Both numbers were negative, so we give our answer the negative sign. Two numbers, 2 and 6, both positive. 2 plus 6 equals 8. We don't need a sign when our number answer is positive. Okay. Here we have two numbers again, both negative. Negative 2 plus negative 8. 2 plus 8 would be their absolute values. That's 10. And this is a negative because both original numbers were negatives. Here, again, we're going to take the absolute value of 8, positive 8, which is 8, the absolute value of negative 2, which is positive 2. We're going to subtract those absolute values. We're going to get 6. Our greater number was positive, so our answer is positive 6. Okay, if we want to add these two numbers, we're adding more than two numbers. There are a few ways to do it. We can add our negatives, or we can add right in a row. Okay, so if we're adding right in a row, this is our original problem too. I want to just show you this. I can pull this down. There we go. That's our original problem. Okay, I'm going to, this is a little hard. I'll use my mouse for this. Okay, that will work better. I added negative 5 plus 4. The absolute value of negative 5 is positive 5. 4 is positive. Since these two numbers have different signs, I subtract. 5 minus 4 gives me 1. Greater number, what absolute value was the 5, so it's a negative 1. And that's what I did. Okay, now I'm going to add negative 1 to negative 3. Those two numbers have the same sign, so I just add and give my answer the sign that they both have, which is a negative. So 1 plus 3 is negative 4. And I'm having trouble now with my mouse pulling this down. I'll just pull it right off like that. Okay, so now I've got negative 4 plus 2. Oh. So I added negative 1 and negative 3. And now I'm going to get my answer, negative 4 plus 2. And here is the answer from this. I added negative 4 plus 2. That means they're different signs. Absolute value of negative 4 is positive 4. Positive 4 minus 2 gives me 2, and I give my answer back. The original sign. Okay, we'll go over here now. We want to simplify this. Now you can add parentheses and mentally enclose each number. Remember, the sign goes with the number that comes after it. So negative 4 is being added to negative 3. It's being added to positive 2. It's being added to negative 4, added to negative 3. This is the sign that goes with the number that comes after it, and negative 2. Okay, now if we add these in order from left to right, I would have negative 7. Negative 7 plus 2 would give me negative 5 because I have to subtract the absolute values. And then plus negative 5 plus negative 4 is negative 9, negative 12, and finally negative 14. Okay, an easier way, I think, to do it is to just look at the problem as it originally existed. Okay, and I'm going to get a pen now. Turn on my pen. And this is what I would do. I would, oops, this isn't working too well. I would group these numbers. Okay, I would group these numbers. And I would say that I have, let me get a pen again. I would say that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negatives. Okay, so I have negative 4, negative 3, negative 4, negative 3, and negative 2. Now I know I can just add those all up together. Negative 4 plus negative 3 is negative 7, plus 4 is negative 11, plus negative 3 is negative 14, plus negative 2 is negative 16. So by adding up all of my numbers that I have that are negative, I get this result. Now, I'm going to cross all those negatives out, and I have one positive 2 left. Remember that the sign always goes with the number that comes after it. I have negative 16 plus 2 then, and negative 16 minus negative 2. The absolute values, remember, are going to be subtracted. This is going to give us 16 minus 2 is 14, and our answer then is going to be negative 14 because the bigger number was negative. That's the end of lesson 6.